Listener discretion is advised. This podcast may include profanity and discussion of sensitive topics. Any opinions expressed are those of the speaker and do not reflect the opinions of any other person or entity. Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Real Future podcast. My name is John Nyboer, and I'm the producer and host of these conversations. I'm also a Los Angeles-based photographer of street dance culture, and I started this podcast as a way for myself and my audience to learn about the people, history, and styles behind the world's largest arts movement. My guest today is Sonlam Win. Sonlam is from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. He happened to be in town just as I was launching this podcast, and I was lucky enough to be able to book him as my very first guest. Sonlam came to Los Angeles in 2017 on the heels of winning So You Think You Can Dance Vietnam. His talent, commitment, and open personality have earned him a lot of love and respect in the LA street dance community, and that reputation has gone global. He won the 2024 Red Bull Dance Your Style US Championship in Atlanta, which sent him to the World Final in Mumbai. To finish off the year, his all-Vietnamese team with MT Pop and Rufu Win won the Flava Of The Year 3-on-3 title. Back home in Ho Chi Minh City, he co-founded Movement Art Research, a yoga and dance studio. You're about to meet a really thoughtful human and a great artist, so let's get into the real future with Sonlam Win. Oh yeah, one more thing. Due to a rookie move by yours truly, a lot of the video portion of this episode, especially the first half, is a series of photos I've taken of Sonlam over the years. Video of our conversation eventually kicks in, and at the very end, you'll get to see a spontaneous performance. So thanks for listening and for watching, and here we go.
And then Sonlam in short is Sonlam.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Sonlam.
Yes, that's
Win.
perfect.
So welcome, Sonlam.
Yeah.
It's great to have you here. Welcome to the Real Future podcast. That's what this is called. I don't know. This is so preliminary that I haven't even told you the name of the podcast yet. But this podcast, you are my first guest ever, and I think that's really appropriate. And the reason is, I don't know if you remember, but we met in Slim Boogie's classes, right, at Creatington. And those classes stopped during the pandemic. And he started them again for a little while right after lockdown opened up. And I remember walking into the room and looking around, and it felt so good and was also disorienting to be in that environment again, surrounded by. And I saw you across the room, and you came up to me and you just gave me a big hug. And you said, "Hi, John." And I was like, it just felt really good. And then since then, we've worked on some projects. I've had you in here for a couple photo shoots. One was orange and green colors. One was all white with a teal.
Yep.
And so when I picked flowers today, I got a purple because I thought it was a different color scheme. The studio, as you know, but the viewers might not, is above a flower shop in downtown Los Angeles. So that's why the flowers. So I'm going to start out by asking you a very simple question. What is your first memory of dancing? The way that maybe not just I was running around the living room, maybe that was it, but dancing in a way that you felt was dancing and you felt, this I want to pursue.
Wow. There's one memory that I really want to share, that actually during COVID, me and my wife and my mother-in-law, we moved house twice, which is, the process of moving house is so stressful, it's so tiring.
It's one of the worst things.
It's one of the worst things, physically, mentally, financially. And during that time, I'm doing school online because everything moved online. And as a dance major student, fly all the way from Vietnam to the US, you don't want to do dance online. You want to be here. I hope I can see all these heroes, all these beautiful dancers, work with them and be great. And now I do things online, and I had to moving houses during COVID. I was stressed. I was crying. I worked at a coffee shop, and sometimes I go to the back and just cry. So one time after my shift, I back home, and all the boxes still there. I just moved to this new place in South and
The South Bay of
South Bay
Los
area.
Angeles, like Redondo Beach, Torrance
Yes. And I have to make an assignment of dance because now it's online, so I need to make a dance film. It's a choreography assignment, and I just think about my mom, and I think about what she said to me, that we are far apart. She's from Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh City to be exact, and I'm living in LA, but we connect through the Pacific Ocean. So we were really close. Whenever you close to the beach, when you go to the beach, we close to each other. So I just play ocean sound. I just play ocean sound and I just move. I just move, and I don't care about style. I don't care about technique. I just move out of pleasure. I think it's the first time ever I use dance as a therapeutic practice unintentionally. I just kind of like, I just need to let it out. I feel stuck. I feel so. I just do it. I was like, why I play ocean sound? I was like, I just have a thought. I was like, nobody gonna look at me. I don't care. I'm gonna play it. It's not a song, but I'm gonna dance to the ocean sound, and I dance straight for me like 30 minutes straight nonstop. And then after I finished, I looked back and I was like, I think I finished my assignment of choreography. And then I just pick out some moment I like, and I condense it to a 7-minute dance, and it become one of my best work. I submit to dance film. We get award. It's a beautiful outcome out of that. But
And
yeah.
prior to that, so if that was the first time that dance became consciously therapeutic for you,
Yes,
right?
yes.
What was it prior to that?
When I was in Vietnam, I exposed to street dance as a kind of like a superpower that I can flex with my friend, that make me feel special in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It make me feel some sort of purpose, that I wake up and want to be better at something. Is great. But I still feel that not enough. I just feel like with competition, with being better, to beat and to surpass someone, is just feel not aligned with.
Oh, that's interesting, because
to
you
who I
you
am.
were surpassing people at
Yes.
that time. So did you come here to Los Angeles or to the United? Did you come to Los Angeles, or did you want to go anywhere in the U.S. when you came here, or did you specifically want to come to Los Angeles?
So I would say I picked Los Angeles because how much talent this city.
In school.
So I have all the plan, because to get the visa to go to the U.S., you have to have everything. Like, I'm gonna go to this school. I'm gonna live in this city.
Mm-hmm.
I went to El Camino College, but then I transferred to San Francisco.
I was just curious about that, because people come to the United States for so many reasons, and
Yeah, I mean, there's another part of the reason why I moved to. Like, I was in a relationship with a Vietnamese girl.
Oh.
And there was a point that she actually not believe dancing is a career, and I was like, what if I have a college degree in dance? Maybe dance can view as a more academic pursuit.
Were your was your family supportive of the dance pursuit, or were they also?
Yes, because at first they not, but when I won So Do You Think You Can Dance, and I got big money prize, it was like, oh, maybe this kid can do something with that. And, I mean,
Wow.
yeah.
So that's interesting. Your family was supporting you, but your girlfriend was like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, it's still unstable. It's still very unstable.
Yes.
Yes.
I definitely part of what I want to talk about consistently in this podcast is that I think. I mean, I know that on the surface, people understand that being an artist, being a creative person, being a performer is unstable, which is why so many parents and girlfriends and whatnot are always so scared when their loved ones, their children especially, decide to pursue this stuff because they're like, oh my God, you're going to starve, right? But you're not starving.
Yep.
But it is challenging, and I don't think people understand. I think a lot of people who are not connected to the arts think the instability is often related to some kind of flakiness, right, or some kind of lack of work ethic or something. When the reality is, the people like yourself are keeping down multiple jobs, are traveling all over the place, right, are doing this and that. And yeah, it's exciting and it's rewarding, and I know you're getting better, but do you have anything to say about that, about how you balance that instability and the social perception of that instability with the actual intense hard work? Not just, there's training, right? There's the physical work that would be alone enough, but no, you've got to support like you said, you're working at a coffee shop. I know you've had a lot of different jobs, and the travel, which sounds romantic to people, is often not romantic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel about that? Like, what drives you to to keep pushing through this kind of instability?
Is the where I'm at right now, at 29 years old, street dancer. I still have a lot of area that I explore and put myself out there to find the stability in my life, and it's getting better and better. However, I need to learn to say to myself that I'm blessed to arrive in this world with this talent, and I want to be all in what I was destined to do. But I also have to face the reality of how the society run. So finding job, be good with your schedule, with your planning, learning your limits to protect your peace, your mental, is so important for me.
Who's somebody when you first came here and really started to see what it meant to live that life in America, in the U.S., was there anybody who stood out to you as a role model who was doing it in a way that you admired or thought you could emulate?
I would say briefly, recently I looked at this guy and I was like, oh my God, like, he's a university professor. He directs a dance company. He has a family, and he's still killing it in dance battle.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he won freestyle sessions, popping division.
Yes,
This is incredible.
Freestyle session champion 2024. That's a big title, and I battled him like 2-3 times, and this guy have that fire in him. So yes, the spirit is important, but he educated. He educated, man. Like, he understand his body to protect it. He understand be a businessman, be a leader. So you cannot just hold on passion itself or just spirit,
Right.
So you have to use your brain. Not much. We can think all of the big name in the scene, and I would say yes, they in a better place than most of people, but it's not match with their talents, it's
So-
still not match.
Yeah, and it's challenging, right? I mean, because really, if I think society worked in a way that you and I probably agree would be better, right? You would have more support. Because right now, the only people who get to full-time put it in are, professional athletes, pretty much, right? And they get paid
Yes.
ridiculous sums of money, which I'm great. I'd much rather have them make money than most other people. But then everybody else is just kind of left to fend for themselves, and there's no government support here. Is this part of the reason why you opened Mars Studio? I know you, 2 years ago?
Yes.
Opened Mars Studio in Ho
Yes.
Chi Minh City?
Yes.
And this is a combination yoga
And dance.
dance studio. Was this part of your thinking that you could have a bigger base, sort of a bigger foundation for your life by doing this sort of thing?
Of course. So the thing that I love the most about dance is sharing. And I was one of those kids that in the corner that's shy. And right now, when I go to an event, I always approach those people first because I understand them. They want to be seen. So I opened this studio to actually teach people not only about dance or yoga. Yes, more movement in your daily life is necessary for longevity and stuff. But for me, it teach them a way of living too, to be a better person, to learn to love yourself, to also give spotlight for people who need it. And I think that's a bigger purpose than winning or playing this ranking game.
So
Yeah.
So did you? It sounds like, kind of going back to our earlier talk about the whole lockdown time and the struggle. It sounds
Yes.
like there was some kind of growth. For example, I mentioned that hug you gave me, and that was a bit of a surprise because I didn't remember you as the person who would necessarily do that, right?
Yeah.
But then here you were like, oh, I'm going to hug this person, and then the first battle that I went to, and that maybe you went to, it was F is for Freestyle. It was in Pico Rivera, and you, I believe, won that battle.
Yes.
And I remember the whole room was, I'm not trying to embarrass you, but or maybe you love it, but the whole room was kind of like watching you after your first round, just being like, wow, Lam leveled up. Like something changed. Like, because you had always been this really beautiful dancer, but then there was this kind of battle edge that you had, right? Where suddenly you weren't just there about movement and dancing and feeling, you were there to win. And that's kind of a more extroverted mentality. Did you notice that, or was it just a slow
It's
change? Because it really, like everybody was just, I remember
it's a
talking to
slow
people
change,
about
man.
that. Slow change.
And I'm so glad that you remember that hug from me, and that is why I keep reminding myself, regardless how good you are a person, as a dancer, be a good person. Be a person that leave the space with some positivity and some love. So
I love that.
I enjoy giving that to people and talk about my transition to be in the craft. The COVID time really gave me the freedom to play, to experiment. That's the time that I really don't care much about the mold of how popping or street dance look like. And I always knowing that my potential of expressing is so much more. I took so many free Instagram online class because a lot of people start to do online class during that time.
That was one, I'm not, it seems to me one positive outcome of the lockdown
Yeah.
was that the dance community knew how to use these platforms. Community that just like, well, you take this thing away from us, we're gonna find a way around it.
If you take advantage of that, you can learn a lot. So I was learning the style called Gaga. Is a contemporary. Contemporary really changed how I approach movement.
And where did you get exposed to, or where did you start to study contemporary?
So You Think You Can Dance Vietnam. That is the TV show that every week I need to pick a random dance genre, and contemporary is one of the challenge. So I get exposed to, like, as a street dancer, I need to dance with a partner, a contemporary piece. I need to
And did they bring
them.
in a trainer or?
Oh yeah, they bring a very well-known choreographer around the world. So I was like, okay, I think I can mimic this dance pretty good. And then after that, I got recruited to a dance company called UDG, Urban Dance Group, and I got to perform like full-length performance, like an hour and a half performance, contemporary. And I was like, wow.
Where was this based?
Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh. So I contemporary teach me to go internal, teach me to question simple body mechanic, and yeah, it's almost like popping teach me to present an aesthetic, a illusion, but contemporary teach me to forget all of that and just care about how I feel, and the outcome will be surprise. So during COVID, like, I was playing with a lot of ideas. I also get really deep into meditation, and yeah, a lot of self-learning happening, like journaling, meditation, experimenting with movement. I did a 30-day challenge for myself. Mm-hmm. That's the most proud project I ever done. And I guess that helped me level up. And I think it's about understanding yourself and allow yourself to be curious and go deep into what you're genuinely curious. That would help you level up.
So, is that still your approach?
Right now, I have a different desire to master the style of popping. Yeah. Because I start to question that, oh my God, that's the style I have fallen in love first. And I feel like I haven't really pushed to the best.
Who was the dancer that made you fall in love with that style?
Mr. Wiggles, Salah,
mm-hmm.
and just by their two names, you can see, like, wow, it's a lot of physical, a lot of like a floor work and performance aspect.
And you saw them on video,
YouTube,
like YouTube, right?
YouTube, just watch a lot of YouTube, a lot of replay, all day, yeah. Just obsessed, yeah.
And that's what brought you to Slim's classes, I guess.
Yes, and then of course all the other name in the scene I start to explore, and Slim Boogie is hand down one of the best popper in the world, dancer in the world. So be able to learn from him in person is a privilege.
Well, and it seems like you kind of have similar. I know Slim does not consider himself a popper, right? Like I know he acknowledges he comes out of that, but similar to you, he's taken that foundation and just blown it up.
Yes.
You know, and which it seems like whenever I see you dance, it's like rarely very traditional, right? There's like elements of that, but then it just goes into your own universe.
Yeah, I couldn't help it. It's kind of like if I tried to be like be exact with the form.
Yeah,
it's just feel so forced. Mm-hmm. I'm not feeling good, so I couldn't help it. Like even I was trying. Sometimes I'm trying, it was like, it still looked different. I was like, how about I just lean on the different? I just lean on the thing that I comfortable.
Lean on the different. We need t-shirts.
Yeah.
Different. I like this.
Yeah. I mean.
Do you think, so you started, how big is the scene in Ho Chi Minh City? You know, are there nightly sessions?
Yes. So they practice in the park a lot, like outdoor, almost every day.
Almost every day.
I used to join those, but that culture actually happened when I first moved to the U.S., which is 8 years ago. Before that, it's a very crew-based kind of like environment. Every crew practice within themselves.
So do you find that? I guess what I want to get at is the differences in the way the street dance culture plays.
In Vietnam, I would say we don't have that extreme spectrum, but we have this flavor. I can only talk about my city. So if you go to Vietnam, it's just a bunch of meme. Like look at the city, it's just like funny shit. It's just like you can see like a ladies that have a pig, or like a chicken just walk and play with a dog, or like the building have a bunch of text, too much text, like what you trying to say, or like
You mean
tiny
billboards
tiny
like
motorbike have a crazy big like bookshelf behind them. It's like, that's so dangerous. Why you do that? And it's just like things like just like dangerous and funny and kind of dumb. It just happen all the time. It actually translates to their dance. It's just a little bit of like look like crafty, look like handmade, look like a product. If you compare to a product, it's not like perfect like European art and stuff like that. It just look like freaking like handmade shit. So their dance would look, I don't know how to say it, but their dance look like, fuck, it didn't work. I do it this way. It's always I do it this way, and that's our culture too.
When you say I do it this way, I think I know what you mean, but just want to make sure. You mean you're just going to use what you have.
I just use what I have.
Because the polished thing is not available.
Yeah, just use what I have.
And then something new comes out of that.
Yeah, it's something like it's a series of interesting choice, because they couldn't. I was like, okay, I don't have the person to watch how it look like, and just to see around all the random choice they make in their life. They like to make it work. Just make it work. That's how my mom been teaching me. Like, it's always a solution. Yeah. And in Vietnam, people mostly ride motorbike, so we don't drive car, so we don't look at GPS. But then I asked my mom, like, because I live in the U.S., sometimes I was like, okay, I'm riding motorbike in the cities. How can I memorize the street? And she was like, the map is in your mouth. Just ask somebody. Just pull over and ask, like, where's the street? So it's like, it's kind of like that vibe with how they develop their dance. They definitely don't think about it. I'm an observer, so I was like, I think that's the vibe. I need to find the word to conclude it to like maybe like a phrase, but that's a long way of explaining. So that's the style, how they develop. In terms of culture, it's very, man. It's just it's not a thing that you can just say.
No, I wouldn't imagine, and your answer is great. I mean, that's kind of what I was. I mean, I didn't know what you were going to say, but yeah, you illustrated a difference. You know, and that's a really good one. I like that. I like that idea of things just aren't polished, so you have to take all the angles and all the rough edges and turn them into something beautiful. Yeah. Or representative.
Same like fashion too. Like the way you dress, it kind of forms the way you dance. So in the U.S., West Coast, people wear a certain way and then they do certain pose and it look good. But in Vietnam, sometimes you don't have those clothes. You just have like random fake up clothes or like random shirt. It's just like a normal shirt. And so you just do something different.
Right.
Like if you wear a whole set of Dickies, like West Coast style, like, oh, I look good on this. But they have different clothes. In Japan too, they have different type of fashion. It's kind of formed the way they dance too.
Well, Japan has every kind of fashion.
It's mixed. Right? It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's all mixed here too, right? Yeah.
True. So you called yourself an observer, right? Which is kind of interesting. Because it was kind of funny to hear you comment on your own country in that way, as if you were kind of looking at it from a distance.
Yeah.
Which I guess you are now, but it sounds like when you were there, you were looking at it that way too. Mm-hmm. Does that go into your? I know that you are really into preparation.
Yes.
Does this factor into your preparation, or how would you characterize your preparation style? Is it more like your home country where it's a kind of angular mix of things, or is it something that's really refined and consistent and
yes
like that?
So I would say 80% I want to have a security and in my preparation, like it's really planned out.
When you're preparing for a performance or battles, what we're talking about, yes?
Performance or especially competition. Like the first question I would say, if I arrive on that performance or battle day, what make it a win? Like internally. How can I make sure myself I show up that day and I feel like a winner, regardless of result? So that's the first question. And I will answer that question in terms of like, if I be able to master this technique, is my physicality reach this benchmark? If I be able to have 3 floor work or something like that, and if I do that, I win my game.
So you now this is a very common philosophy, the idea of compete against yourself.
Yes.
But I know from watching you that you actually do it, because I do see some people who are very competitive. I see you as very competitive, but you don't. If you lose a battle, I don't see you. It doesn't seem to ruin your day.
Yeah.
And this must be why.
Yes.
Right. But I do see dancers who just like, you can tell it's going to take them a couple days to shake it off, right? Even though they might have hugged at the end and all that. Is this? But this is something, coaches, sports coaches talk about this. Very common idea. Have you always kind of been able to do this, or did somebody say, don't worry about them, just focus on your own game?
I would say my big brother, friend, mentor, Jordan, is
Jordan McLaughlin, right?
Yeah, Jordan McLaughlin. We talk a lot about our why, and we practice together. And our practice is clearly, if you stop by sometime, it's not catered for battle. It's just really about master the craft, master the self, master your fear, and encourage curiosity. It's almost like a laboratory. So that's how
How do you balance that with the straight up athletic physical demands, right?
Yes.
You can talk about all that, but at the end of the day, if you run out of gas after the 3rd round, you're done. So how do you?
So that is what I pull out from Jordan. However, he's a crazy disciplined guy with training too. So that is because we love this so much. We love this exploration of movement so much. We want to be in this game for a long time. And to be able to in this game, what you eat, how you maintain your physical is a big portion of the training. So we keep each other accountable. Myself, I do yoga and workout like 5 days a week,
right?
Obviously, but he the one that keep me open, my perspective of like, don't just do that, like feed your other side too, your artist side too. So with preparation, I tend to give myself a scoring system that I try to hit before the battle, so I feel like a winner. But also, I want to win.
Right? I can tell.
I want to win. I want to do good too, and that's tricky. Dance battle is such a weird sport. It's an extremely weird sport. I can talk how weird it is for you right now.
Well, yeah. I think I know you could for sure. And is there one thing just to keep it focused? Because I have my own ideas on this, right? But can you pick out one thing that makes it weird?
So
relative to some other form of competition,
you have to don't care about win, but you also have to care about win.
Right. Okay. How did you handle this? So I know that you won the U.S. final, the Red Bull U.S. final in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
And was that for freestyle?
That's
because Red Bull is always right
for all the stock and
right.
compete.
So you won that, and then you went to Mumbai for the finals. I'm guessing this was the biggest. Did you see this as the biggest competition you'd ever been in? Oh, you didn't. Interesting. I kind of thought you would be like yes, but
I mean, if in terms of the massive audience,
the
profile, exposure,
expectations, pressure, people from all over the world. Oh my God, who's this guy? So
yes,
when you went to that, how did you handle that differently than say, your first battle when you moved here, right? Because you're going to this thing, a lot of people are watching, it's high profile. But you still need to maintain that I'm competing against myself, right? And did you do that successfully? Did you feel like...
I don't think I do that successfully.
You don't?
So the thing about dance freestyle battle, like we all freestyle. We don't know the music. It's a lot of components can play to how you perform. Yeah. Like it's so unpredictable, even to myself.
But were you satisfied? Like, did you come out, like you said, thinking that you were a winner, even though you didn't? You weren't the champion.
I would say if I look at the whole process of prepare, I would say I'm a winner.
Yeah.
But if I just look at my performance, I was not satisfied with it.
All right.
I was just not click.
Yeah.
And then that is the moment I realized and I learned that there's no one kind of like structure or blueprint that I can apply for anyone. There's no blueprints that if you do this step, you success in battle. It's changing. It's changing every so often. So sometime with a very clear training preparation, I get success. Sometimes I don't need that, I get success. Sometimes I have that. It's just no 1 + 1 is 2. Right. It's weird. But I would say guarantee with preparation, success will come. Because maybe the preparation I prepare for Mumbai is not from Mumbai, but it's for Flava of the Year.
Yeah.
Because 2 weeks after is Flava of the Year, and I won that one.
Right, you're 3-on-3 crew.
Yeah.
Won. It was you and who were the 3 people in your crew at Flava of the Year?
MT Pop and Rufu. We represent X-Cloud crew from Vietnam.
Did you all meet in Vietnam, in Ho Chi Minh City?
Yeah, we know each other for like over 10 years.
From the scene there?
Yeah, we grow up together and we practice. And however, when we grow up, we all travel all around the world. We didn't get a chance to really prepare anything. We just meet at the events and just kind of like, let's hit it.
I think that's the case for most of those
and
crews.
Then, obviously, with my brand, I was thinking like, I feel like we're not gonna win, right? We didn't prepare anything.
But you have that.
But then I was like, I'm gonna just embrace it. I'm just gonna embrace this because I just learned from Mumbai. There's no blueprint to win.
Well, you know what I saw? Because I think, for people who haven't seen a 3-on-3 battle.
Yes.
What's really impressive is the way the dancers can move as one in you don't know when it's going to happen as a spectator. And I suspect that most of the times the dancers don't know when it's going to happen either, which means, right, like you said, you didn't plan any choreographed movements, but there were times where all three of you did a choreographed movement.
Yeah.
This represents choreographed movement. And I'm pretty sure that comes from the fact that you have known each other for 10 years. That's the important part.
Yes.
Right? Like, because if you had only known each other for a week and you had trained all week, I don't think it would have been as good as this kind of. It's an amazing thing to someone like me who's not a dance. Like, I see what's happening and I've seen it a lot, but it's still, there's something really amazing about it to me. That ability to suddenly, people spend so much time on choreography.
Yeah.
And anyone can understand why. So to see people spontaneously choreograph is fantastic. And I think it's because of the relationship, right?
Yes, definitely the relationship, but also the understanding of acceptance. So if I keep holding on to the idea of like, damn, we know each other for a long time. This is the time that we get together. We have to be good. We need to have kind of like combo and stuff. But if I'm just like, there's no blueprint, there's always an unknown, right?
Right.
It's knowing that, but it's always a 50-50, right? I still can win in this. I loving it. Let's play. Let's experiment this another unknown.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You keep talking about this idea of being in the present and not being attached to preconceived notions. This has got to be like of paramount importance for street dancers, right? Because every other style of dance, the music is known, right? You don't go on stage with the Joffrey Ballet and not know what the music is going to be, or Alvin Ailey's groups, they know the music. Maybe there's some very, very abstract pieces where dancers are put on stage and they don't know, but that mostly doesn't happen. But with street dance, this is a foundational principle for the most part. What do you do when you get a really slow song? Because I in any performing art, music, dance, slow is always harder, right? Which I know you know this, but spectators don't often understand this, right? You see the guy playing guitar really fast, or you see the dancer, the tap dancer doing crazy stuff, or the break dancer doing all the spins. But to do something slow is so much harder because there's so much space, right?
Right.
And the space is unknown.
Yes.
If you have a beat and then that's just more unknown space for you to deal with. What's your approach to dealing with a really slow track, especially when you're hyped and it's a final round and you're like, okay, and then
yeah.
Here goes.
I know. It's tricky.
You do find it tricky.
And with extremely fast song, it's tricky too. But however, the slow song, and we have 60 seconds, 45 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So
a minute and a minute and a half at the most, right? Or
so I would say, as long as you're aware of what you're hearing, you're actually in total control of how you want to present it. So be a part of the theater contemporary performance world really give me kind of like the experiments of like you and the music is partnering. You are not get controlled by the music, or you don't try to control the music. You partnering. Sometimes you let go the hand and let the music do their thing. Sometimes we hold the music hand. So it's like a partnering. It's a dance between us.
Yes.
So I can just completely like, music, you there. Let me do my thing. I gonna create my own rhythm in those space. And sometimes I hold it hand and I let it be. So let the music be seen to. So I have this back and forth between presenting the music, pretending myself, present both of us. So that's how I play it. It's like a show.
Do you have a favorite type of music?
I would say like neo soul.
Really?
Neo soul. So like I like Masego. Masego, he's like a rapper, but it's like it's pretty funky and soulful. I like a lot of type of music. It's change. And
I mean more as a dancer, not as a listener.
So yeah, neo soul.
Yeah.
Neo soul. I love this. That's my shit.
So you like something that's a little got softer edges to it.
Yeah, more softer edge. Yeah. So I can sit in the pocket and I can play. I can play more.
Sit in the pocket. Did you ever study music?
Not as deep that I should have.
But I mean like piano lessons as a kid or something like this?
No, I always loved to learn string instruments. And that's always the thing that was like, it would be so cool to have something I can just hold or put in my bag and just pull out and play. But never really invest yet. I should.
Okay, so you never sat down and like played guitar. Okay. I'm just that in the pocket is one of those terms that's very common to music and dance, right? It basically mean the same thing.
You play?
Yeah, I took piano lessons as a kid, and then I picked up drums when I was about 12.
Damn.
And I did that. I basically made a deal with my parents, right? I was like, because I found out that if I could play drums, I could be in the band, right? So they agreed that if I started doing that, then I could quit the piano. Because the piano, Mom was right. Like, I'm very happy now that I did that. But at the time, I didn't like it that much. But I mustn't have hated it too much because I took lessons for like 7 years, and practiced, and I was not bad. But I didn't really love it. I picked up the drums, loved that, did that all through school. I was in the marching band at UCLA, and then didn't play for quite a few years, and then started getting in bands again. So I was in all kinds of different bands in Los Angeles for about 20 years.
That's so cool, man.
So
I have no idea.
And when I encountered the street, when I first met Slim in the parking lot, which is how I ended up photographing this culture, it made sense to me immediately, right? I got it. I didn't know all the details, but I could tell who was good and who wasn't, and how dance expressed the music and all that. But anyway, so basically when I really started taking photography seriously, I kind of laid off the music thing. But I started work during, once again, pandemic. I needed something to do, so I got a little MIDI keyboard and I started learning how to make electronic music. So I have been doing some composing. I've started to play piano again a little bit just to help myself write, and it's also just good for your brain.
Yeah.
It's
almost like dancing. How you like connect your mind with your fingers.
It's small movements. And this is what's foreign to me are these, piano and drums. I'm coordinated.
Yes.
But not in the dance way, So yes, I can look at music and I can figure all that out and how my fingers should move or how my arms and legs. But to learn the first 8 counts of a choreo is just take me all day.
Yeah.
Because that's not my language. But it makes sense to me because, like you said, it's fundamentally there's a lot, especially drummers. I mean, dancing is drumming in so many ways.
Yes.
It really. And can we try something?
Yeah.
Can we try? I've got an electronic drum kit over here. What if I play and you dance?
Yeah, of course.
Are you down?
I'm down. I'm not warm, but I can.
I understand.
I definitely can dance.
Yeah. Nobody. I'm not warmed up either, so we're not going to hurt ourselves. But let's just kind of try it out.
Yeah, go for it. Damn, it's surprising.